Okay, looks like we are going live. So we will see who is joining us today. I think we will just start with our welcome here. Awesome. Okay, let's get going. Hello, hello, hello. Hang on, you guys. Awesome. Welcome to our Captain's Corner. My name is Kerstin Hewer, First Mate in Marketing at the Harbor. And with me today is Kath Hoffman, Captain at Safe Harbor.
Ahoy there, everybody. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So thank you, Kath. I'm so excited because we have been planning to do this for a month. And so now it's actually happening. So what is happening exactly? During the summer month, we will be going live with different topics on all things Safe Harbor and how we at Safe Harbor can help or do help to build a safe and healthy community. So our first topic today will cover all that has been happening with Safe Harbor's shelter program. I know like so many of us have expressed concerns about its future. So we thought this is a great first topic to start with. And yeah, let's dive right in. If you like, as you can see when you're joining us live right now, you can post comments in the comment field, but as you can see, we are doing it via Zoom, so there is a time delay. We will try to get to the comments. If we don't during the live session, we will happily go back after and do this. So let's dive right in, Kath. The shelter program. There has been, the shelter program has been in the news a lot lately. Can you tell us a little bit, like for everyone that is maybe not that familiar, exactly what the shelter program is, like who you serve, like, can you describe what the shelter program is and what you actually do?
I sure can. And currently, and since about 2003 or 4, Safe Harbor has been operating a shelter program in this city for people who are under the influence of substances and need a safe place to be. And our shelter program consists of drop-in services during the day, where we see approximately between 80 and 100 people during the summer months. In the winter, that could go up to 150 people. We also operate a day sleep program in that facility, and that sleeps usually about 20 people a day on average. Mm-hmm. And also then at night, that program converts to an overnight shelter. We typically right now in the summer are seeing maybe between 40 and 50 people. Although a month ago we had 70 people because it was raining. So it all just depends on weather. And when people come to the shelter, of course, they're being welcomed. They're being, first of all, assessed for COVID nowadays. And also, we're so grateful, thanks to Alberta Health Services, we have a nurse on staff now at the shelter who can help with medical assessments, physical and mental health assessments, refer people accordingly. We have staff there, of course, that are helping people with storage, showers, laundry, and we have an ID, an opportunity for people to apply for ID there. They can be assessed for housing. Mm-hmm. Mostly it's building those relationships with a crowd of people who are typically underserved due to their levels of intoxication.
Yeah, you always say, Kath, that you offer the first steps to recovery. So in the shelter, so what kind of like how do you do this with the shelter program? Yeah, what role does the shelter play with that?
Good question. I always say that our shelter program lives between the dumpster and the referral. And that's painting it rather, well, realistically. So when people are coming to the shelter, our mission statement at Safe Harbor is to provide spaces of welcome and connection. And that's a critical step, a crucial first step for anyone. It's a way to access help. You know, it may not look like it because it's just a shelter program, but they're connecting, first of all, to a medical resource by a nurse. You know, they're starting to build relationships there. And it's, although the basic human right of shelter is being provided, this is also a real emergency flavored program, if you will. People are in states of emergency, different kinds of distress. And so we're there to provide that first step. Here's your first step to healthy connections, building that relationship, keeping that relationship intact, and ideally being right there in the moment to refer people when they're ready for more support.
So Kath, like, how many staff do you have in the shelter? And I know you have nurses and they are special trained. Like how many staff do you have that help?
Approximately about 40 people. A big casual staff base, as you can appreciate, especially through COVID. But we have in our new location at Cannery Row, it's a huge facility, and we had to incorporate more staff on the floor to account for that. We also have a bathroom monitor because very often people will overdose in bathrooms. So we had to incorporate a staff just to be ready to respond that way. So yeah, our staff team is at about 40 people in the shelter.
Okay. So then a question that I heard often is like, who actually uses the bathroom? I know that was a question that came up in one of the public hearings, like who are they all coming from BC? Like where are those people coming from and who are they? Is it like woman, like female, male, like who are they, how old are they, and where they're coming from?
Yeah. Well, we are serving 85% of the people that we serve in shelter are from Central Alberta. So we are definitely serving our community primarily. I always say that we serve 6 types of people at Safe Harbor, and they are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and sons and daughters. And that might sound like a no-brainer, but it's a reminder that the people that we're serving in shelter have families, and families who are aching for them, and families who can no longer support them because of their addiction has gotten to the place where it is, or their mental health, or whatever it might be, right? So I always try and impress upon people that we're serving families in Central Alberta at Safe Harbor. 33% of the people that we're serving are Indigenous. And we know that 90% of those people are direct descendants or survivors of the tragedy of residential schools. And so, you know, we all ached inside. We just hurt inside when we thought of those children that are being found now. And we think, oh my gosh, we didn't help those kids. We didn't, you know, this really happened here and we didn't help. And it's our responsibility, I think, now to help them by helping their families and their, like, I don't know why we would need a reason, but that's a good one. If we do, right? So people are coming with a complexity of health issues. You know, it's not just the addiction, it's diabetes, it's high blood pressure, it's stress, anxiety, depression, sexual assault. Um, they're in psychosis, they're suicidal, and they are also some of the most resilient people I've ever known in my life. That, you know, that resiliency of the human spirit, you can see it all the time at Safe Harbor, and they keep trying. Now, you might look at it and say, well, they're just using drugs. Like, what are they trying? You know, and they are trying to survive. You know,
Yeah.
it's the addiction is just a symptom.
Yeah.
We always have to think about what's driving that addiction. And when we think about those kids in the residential schools, we certainly have a good indication of what's driving that addiction for many of the people we're serving. And they have indeed been traumatized and are trying to stay alive. And that's what humans are built to do.
So with this in mind, I know a lot of people like that are joining our live today or watching the replay. So what, Kath, tell us, what is going on with your current location? You have been, as we all know, in the news a lot. I have been attending the live hearings. And so can you let us know what is happening with the shelter? My last information is that you have to be out by September 30th. Is that still the case? Is there anything else that we don't know about? Like, please, like, share your thoughts on that.
Well, unfortunately, that is the case. As things currently stand, we have to vacate our location at Cannery Row, the old bingo hall, on September 30th. It's important to have a little bit of the backstory on this to understand it better. So shelter in Red Deer, this shelter has always been in a precarious spot. For the last 10 years, we've either been trying to get more space, certainly trying to get a facility that is designed to better serve the people that we're serving and also the community just through its design. And we've been waiting and waiting for that money to come for a permanent location. And now we knew a couple of years ago that the province has earmarked $7 million for a permanent shelter facility. We've been working very hard with the province to try to make that happen. And we were, prior to COVID, in ATCO trailers in our parking lot. This was a temporary response as well, that we were there, but we were there for 6 years. So the intention was always to get out of those trailers and into a permanent location. Now COVID hit, the city declared a state of emergency.
Yeah.
We could not social distance in the trailers that we were in. And so we were able to not have to worry about zoning. The city leased the Cannery Row building and could put us in there under the state of emergency. And that was wonderful. It was wonderful. We have this huge football field almost to work in. And the city spent, or the province helped pay for the renovations to do what we could to make sure everybody's safe in that building. We had what we needed. And so for the last years, we've been able to operate, you know, temporarily, but really well in that location. Now, once the state of emergency was lifted, then the city had to apply to the city to extend the zoning so that we could stay where we are until a permanent location is ready to move into. That would have been ideal. The city, mayor and council have denied that zoning extension request twice now. They want the shelter to be out of the downtown.
Yeah.
So I know their assumption is that if we go, the people will follow, kind of like a little Pied Piper kind of thing. And I think that they They think that maybe all their problems will go away if the shelter goes away. And yeah, I don't think that it will have that outcome necessarily, but
So
that's where we are. That's
yeah,
real.
so
No, that's where we
yeah,
are.
thank you, Kat. So what does it mean? Does it mean we won't have a shelter by September 30th? Is there a backup plan? Like, is there like, I think I read the city is looking into another temporary solution, maybe buying some land, and doesn't that take a long time either? So would that be ready in time? Like, and of course, I'm like, as a citizen, I'm wondering, like, is it not better to look right into a permanent solution? Like is there like what does it mean, like if by the
Yeah.
end of September 30th now?
Well, you're right about another temporary solution would not be ready to move into by September 30th. And that is, of course, a huge concern to us at Safe Harbor, certainly to the people we serve, certainly for my staff. This came as quite a blow to us, as you can appreciate. And as you mentioned, the city has now tasked their admin team to bring them back some information on the cost to buy a lot and maybe to put modular units on it until a permanent site is built
Yeah.
and ready. So that's a lot of money. And Safe Harbor, you know, everybody was saying, okay, what are you guys going to do? What are you guys going to do? And that's what I was doing. Like, I'm the captain, man. I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do now? And what we have decided to do is to apply to extend the zoning ourselves. Safe Harbor can do that because it was the city that did the other applications. And so now we are going to try that same route. And hopefully council will pass the first reading of the bylaw. And it will mean another public hearing.
Okay.
And
So-
you might, yeah, I know what your question's gonna be. I
so
know
so,
it.
so hey, hang on. So Safe Harbor applied for rezoning, is that
Yes,
correct?
we just
Okay.
did that last week. We have applied to rezone.
Okay.
We knew going in that, you know, we asked ourselves, what difference will it make this time? Why are we doing this? So,
Yeah.
you know, certainly didn't want to do it just to make people angry or frustrated, but rather we knew that we had to do something. We have to try. To not try is to not meet our mission statement. And we knew that there have been changes. The thing that's different is that people have come to help now.
So do you actually feel that there is, so after all of this, after all those hearings and all those time that has been going on now, do you feel there is a shift in what's happening in the city with the?
Yes, I do. I do believe there is. For instance, we have the 211 initiative that started in January of this year, and the Safe Harbor has a team that's working with the city and the RCMP to respond to non-emergency calls, so the RCMP don't have to. So if you are a downtown business or a business owner or a regular citizen anywhere in the community, and you run into someone in distress or might be causing you some stress, you can call 211 and someone will come and help you. And that's huge for us. And that team has shown some great results. People are using the service and appreciating the service. So that's a great initiative.
Okay, so there's 211. So what else has been? I saw there is, we have a bathroom now downtown. Is that also part of what has been in the planning?
Well, certainly I would hope so, because we've known for years that we needed bathrooms in the downtown. And it just hasn't happened, and it hasn't happened So in the meantime, people are finding feces around their property or whatever, and for some reason displace that anger and to the shelter. Whereas we're not in the bathroom business. We don't have money to do
Yeah.
it. So the city has put in a pilot project for a bathroom in the downtown. And again, it's another temporary measure. And lots of times with temporary measures, as we can attest to at Safe Harbor with our shelter services, the problem with it is that if it's not set up right the first time, things are going to spill over. And when they spill over, people think they fail. You know, okay, that didn't work. We're not doing that again.
Yeah.
Rather than something permanent that's well thought out and staffed accordingly and all of those things. So it does have a positive result, right? But I mean, we've been crying out for bathrooms forever. So it was really great to see at least there's some movement there. And the downtown businesses, ideally, that will help them a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So, and we also have the Downtown Business Association, who did do a cleanup of the downtown trash and litter and things, have expanded their service to include our area because it didn't fall into our area before. And so they've enhanced the cleanup for the businesses. And that's been a great initiative too. The downtown, there's a new committee being formed called the Downtown Identity Transformation or something committee. And I've been picked to be a part of that committee. So that's great. And I know some of the businesses are going to be represented there too. So I see that synergy. You know, we are all after the same thing, and that's a safe and healthier community. And I think that, you know, as long as we're talking to each other and telling each other what we're doing or what we're finding, that we're going to be able to move forward. I'm hoping so, because for a city like Red Deer to have a gap in shelter services like that, especially for this crowd, it doesn't seem like it's even real. Like, is this even really happening? I know we were talking just about registering staff for a conference at the end of September, and my shelter manager said, well, what am I going to do? And I thought, well, just register some of your staff. And then she said, well, and then I thought, oh God, yeah. Like, this is real. Like, you might not be here. Like, what is this even? Yeah. Right? It's too freaky to think about. I never thought I'd see us in this place. And you know, it's not because of Safe Harbor. It's not because of Turning Point. It's not because of the city. It's not because of anything. It's because we're in a crisis with addiction. It's because for years that addiction has, the money and the resources haven't been ignored, but certainly have only been piecemeal at best, right? The crisis comes, the madness comes, the temporary solutions come, and the outcomes aren't what people want to see, right? And so we haven't caught up. You know, this crisis started showing itself in probably 2016 around Red Deer, and we still haven't caught up. So that's what we're paying for. That's what's happening. And people are angry about it. And I hear them. I'm angry too. But it gets displaced, that anger. And it's been displaced on us. Yeah.
So, Kath, I have another question. Like, I know there was a lot of like comments and concerns from the business community, and I know at Safe Harbor you are not just providing first steps to recovery, but also in a broader perspective, helping to build a safe community for all of us. So, like what about the businesses? Like, how are you in communication with them? Are all of them angry? Do you have are there some good stories where you have worked successfully with businesses? Can you share a little bit of that? Like, because I know you have been very concerned. I have talked to some of the staff members, and I have heard that they had good conversations with some businesses. Like, can you share a little bit about that? Is there some good stories that you have to share, can share with us?
Well, and you know, it's such, it feels like it's an us and them kind of story, but it's not really, because everything the businesses are going through as far as vandalism and car
Mhm.
break-ins and all of that stuff, we experience that all the time at Safe Harbor. So we're not immune to that. And
So you're,
yeah,
mhm,
I'm frustrated by it too, right? And I think in the past, because the businesses have talked to the city about their problems and they feel as though nothing was done, they got to the point where they thought there's no sense talking to anybody, right?
mhm,
They didn't talk to us. They didn't say, hey, Safe Harbor, we've got Buddy over here and he's being a dork or whatever. So we went along assuming things were, you know, not okay, but as best as they could be considering.
mhm,
But now, and I'm sure the businesses thought there's no sense talking to Safe Harbor because they want to operate their shelter, right? What are
mhm,
they going to do, right? And so the businesses, I think, got frustrated, and rightly so. And I think it probably made a big difference. You know, sometimes when we're having a disaster, we don't always realize that the disaster is going to bring us some good things.
mhm,
And I think it's brought, you know, certainly I've reached out to one of the vocal business members since that public hearing and started conversations. And I know I'll be continuing those conversations in that downtown committee. And so maybe we got rid of the communication plug that was there.
mhm.
I'm hoping so, because we would never disregard those businesses' concerns. They are the same as ours. Um, and it was the first time ever, we've been through public hearings like that all the time. It's not news to us that people
Mhm.
don't want us around, right? But I think this one was different because it felt like we were being punished or something somehow, you know, like we have, you know, have this report card and we have to do a good job. And, you know, we've been disregarding all of this and we haven't done our due diligence. And that's far from the case. On the contrary, inside that shelter and outside as best we can, we are doing so much every day to
Mhm.
help to build a safe and healthy community. So much. And because of Privacy Acts and because I respect the people I serve, I can't tell you all their stories. And I can't tell you the conditions we find people in and what my staff do and what my staff continue to do. You know, you might find that one guy who's behaving like a dork or in
Mhm.
psychosis or whatever, and think, oh my gosh, right? And then if you think in the shelter, we have 30 or 40 other ones that are in the same boat, you can appreciate maybe what it is our staff are going through. And the reason they're going through it is because they believe that they can help to make a difference.
Mhm. So talking about that, Catholic, how it's like if like when we have our people joining this live or watching the replay, what is there anything they can do to help? So as I understood, there will be another public hearing.
If we're successful, if we get the first reading through
Or if you,
council,
okay.
yeah, then there will be another public hearing so we could, you know, people could support the downtown businesses. That would be good for us if everybody went shopping in the downtown instead.
Exactly.
That would be really good. And certainly sending an email to mayor and council asking them to see the wisdom of having us stay where we are, continuing to work and help the businesses around that area. Um, that's what we want to do. It makes the
Mm,
most sense. To do anything else on a temporary basis seems to me to be, I want to say a waste of money, but that makes it sound like I don't care about the businesses again, and I do care about them. I just know that moving us isn't going to give them the results they think it will. I don't, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I don't, that's just real.
Yeah. So what I like heard is that like it's this is not just a safe harbor problem. I think what we all like recognize is that like this problem has evolved from over the years, and it shows in many different aspects in our city, and it's not something that someone or safe harbor could solve on its own, or the city can solve on its own. Like it needs to be a collaborative a collaboration of all of us. So, and I think, so doing this and what you just said, what already has happened in our community, like, and how you reach out, like what has happened with the DBA. And I feel like there's more, people are more alert, but also positively, and like watching, seeing, okay, what is possible, what can I do? So to wrap our first session up, I will just see, because we are on Zoom, if there are any comments on our Facebook page. And we will have a next session coming up. We are not saying yet what the topic will be. So I'm just looking online. So I don't see any questions here. I don't see any questions here. Okay, so I would say if you have questions and you're watching the live, please like comment in the comments, and we will get back to you as fast as we can. And we will hopefully see you next week again. We will announce.
And it'll be good.
It will be good.
I'll tell you what it is, but it's going to be really good. And this is Captain's Corner. It's like Coach's Corner, but it's not about hockey, and we don't have Don or Ron, but we have Kirsten and Kath, and it's going to be cool. So yeah, join us. Come and join us.
Come and join us. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. We are very excited, as I said, to do this as a weekly live now during the summertime. If you have a specific question or topic that you would like us to cover, please also comment, and we will happily consider that. And for now, I would just say thank you, Kath, for your time today. Thank you, everyone who joined and is watching the replay. And we will see you. Yeah.
Steady as she goes.
Steady as she goes. Aye, aye, Captain.